Good evening and welcome to our last show of the season here at the Pickwick Theater Classic Film Series. With movie hostess Becca, my name is Matthew, I'm your program host. And that over there is Mr. Jay Warren. Jay, I can't thank you enough for all your help this past season. This was our 9th season. It was a long season. We started way back in September with Rio Bravo. Showed so many great films. The Thing, John Carpenter, Shawshank Redemption. There was a lot of uncertainty about what was going to happen with our program. All I can say with 100% certainty is that we will be back in the fall. We're planning on being back in September, but there is a possibility we could do a show in August in the event that the mega screen comes down. I would highly recommend getting on our emailing list. There's a sign-up sheet in the lobby, or check our website, parkridgeclassicfilm.com, because we'll post all our updates on there. Real quick, so I don't forget, we do have a couple bonuses. I have a Max Fleischer cartoon. It's a fish cartoon. I tried to find something with a shark. This is the best thing I could do. And then I have a special trailer we added for Father's Day. So I hope you enjoy that. Before I say any more, I think Becca would like to say something to all of you.
I also wanted to say thank you everyone for coming to the shows this season, especially with how kind of the whirlwind that has been this last 6 months. It's been a really great season, and I'm happy that we have such a great turnout tonight. And before we start the movie, we're going to have our other hostess, Sam Peters, come up and talk a little bit more about Jaws.
Hello. Welcome. So, I'm just going to jump right into it, everyone. Film production, as somebody who makes films, is really easy and always goes well, right? And I think Jaws is a shining example of that. So Jaws is based on the Peter Benchley book. The producers and Steven Spielberg himself saw the book, got a look at it, skimmed the pages and said, yeah, that's gonna be a pretty easy movie to make. So, they get Martha's Vineyard as a location, which is like a perfect location for Jaws. It had beautiful, picturesque area, and the sand was kind of like low enough that the ocean wasn't super deep, so it all worked perfect. And they brought on, another scriptwriter because Peter Benchley wrote a really unpleasant shark movie, and they wanted to kind of lighten it up a little bit. So they brought on a playwright named Howard Sackler. Howard Sackler comes on the film and writes an even more depressing movie with even more unlikable characters. No problem. Steven Spielberg brings in his friend Carl Gottlieb, and Carl Gottlieb is a comedian and makes it a funny movie. Fun, lighthearted shark movie, right? So I was lying earlier when I mentioned Martha's Vineyard being like a perfect place to make this movie. It was not. Really high saltwater content, and the shark was made out of steel and polyurethane. But that also kind of it sounds strong, but the shark was made of metal and plastic with air compression inside. Not really like the best thing for salt water, so it just kept falling apart, sinking to the bottom of the ocean. At one point, even the boat cracked in half, and the back part of it sank to the ocean. Steven Spielberg yells to the actors, save the actors, and their head sound guy said, screw the actors, save the sound department. He didn't say screw. So, kind of a production plagued by a few problems, but isn't that how it goes, There was some clashing between actors. Richard Dreyfuss and Robert Shaw did not get along. Robert Shaw liked to mess with Richard Dreyfuss and try to make him do weird pranks like climb to the top of the boat and jump in the water. And they were bored enough and had enough downtime that he would sometimes do that. And I think that's kind of fun. Robert Shaw also really struggled with his drinking on the set. and they would send him out with different production assistants to help him make sure he didn't drink. And Robert Shaw is not a man who likes to drink alone. So he would get drunk with those production assistants, and they'd have a really fun time. And that was just kind of how it went. The film went for over 100 additional days of shooting. They went over their budget by 300%. But in the end, their $12 million movie grossed $470.7 million, and probably still counting. I mean, there's a lot of us here tonight. So, you know, I think that that's just kind of a sign that every movie that goes poorly during production always turns out really well, right? So I guess that kind of sums up a little bit of fun facts I had for Jaws. So show me the way to go home. I'm tired and I want to go to bed.
Thank you, Diane. We need to have Diana introduce more films for us, I think. Thank you so much. We're gonna bring this film back, I think, in 2 years for the 50th anniversary, because this is a terrific turnout. I think this is the biggest crowd that we had all season. So So again, I just want to say thank you for all your support this past season, and we look forward to coming back in the fall. Last note, just as a courtesy to your neighbors, be sure to turn off your cell phones, and I hope everyone has a wonderful Father's Day. Thank you. Take care.